If you still hear me, hold on tight through the shadows, through the night. I'm still yours, I never left. Love's not gonna just took rest. So if you're somewhere deep inside,
Hello, my name is Linda Monroe. I'm 50 years old, and I'm not standing on this stage today for myself. I'm here to sing for my husband, David. David isn't sitting in the audience. He's not backstage watching on a monitor. He's lying in a hospital bed connected to machines the same way he has been for the last 15 years. He doesn't move, he doesn't speak, he doesn't blink, but he breathes. And I believe somewhere in that silence, he's still listening. He wasn't always this way. David used to be the kind of man who could fill a room without saying much. He had this quiet confidence. He didn't need attention. He just made everyone feel safer somehow. He was the guy who remembered birthdays and fixed your leaky sink and stayed behind after church to stack chairs without being asked. And he made me feel like the only person in the world when he looked at me. He proposed to me on a rainy Tuesday. We didn't have money for a ring, so he twisted a bread tie around my finger and said, "This'll do for now." I laughed so hard I cried. We were young. We didn't have much, but we had each other, and that felt like more than enough. We lost our first baby, a miscarriage, just before 12 weeks. I remember crying in the kitchen saying, "I can't do this." David didn't say anything. He just wrapped his arms around me and held on like he'd never let go. And he didn't. Not once. Not through the hardest parts. Not when we struggled to pay bills. Not when I lost my mom. Not when we were just two exhausted people passing like ships in the night. He always stayed. And then one night, he didn't come home. It was our 11th wedding anniversary. I had set the table with candles and music and that pie from the corner diner he loved, but David forgot the wine. He laughed, kissed my forehead, and said, "Back in 15. I remember telling him to hurry. I was already hungry. He smiled and winked, and then he left. He rode his bike. It was only 10 blocks to the store, but he never made it back. A 17-year-old texting behind the wheel ran a red light at 80 miles per hour. He hit David head on. The impact was violent. The doctor said David's brain hit the inside of his skull so hard, it was a miracle he survived the ambulance ride at all. But he did survive. He didn't wake up, but he kept breathing, his heart kept beating, and for the last 15 years, that's where he's been, somewhere in between life and whatever comes after it. For the first few weeks, I was sure he'd wake up any moment. I read to him. I played our wedding song. I brought his favorite cologne to rub on his hands. But weeks turned into months, months into years. People started to move on. They said things like, "You need closure," and "He wouldn't want you to put your life on hold." And maybe they were right. But here's what they didn't see. They didn't see how his face looked the night he held our son for the first time. They didn't see how he sang along to old country music while fixing our fence. They didn't see the man who built a crib by hand because we couldn't afford to buy one. They didn't love him like I do. So I did. The only thing that ever made sense to me, I sang. The first time, it was just instinct. I was sitting beside him in the ICU. It was cold. The machines were loud. I started humming this little tune we used to dance to in the kitchen. His chest rose and fell. Nothing changed. But I felt something. I felt like he was still there. So I kept going. I've sung to David every single night since. That's over 5,400 nights. I sang through every birthday, every holiday, every thunderstorm. I sang when the power went out and I lit candles around his bed. I sang when his body seized in the dark and I had to press the emergency button. I sang when our son graduated and David's seat in the audience stayed empty. I sang when the doctors asked me to consider ending life support. I sang through that silence too. People ask me if he ever responds. No, not physically, not once. But I don't sing for a reaction. I sing because it's the only way I know how to say, I'm still here. I haven't left, and I still believe in you. I once asked a neurologist, do you think he hears me? The doctor paused and said, there's no medical proof either way, but the brain is full of mysteries we still don't understand. That was enough for me. You see, science stops where love begins. The world says he's gone, but love says, maybe not yet. So tonight, I brought David here. Against every rule, against every warning, because I don't care about rules anymore. I care about one thing. Does love still reach the places science says it can't? If David can hear me, then I want him to hear me sing one more time under the lights with the world watching. Maybe he won't respond, but maybe, just maybe he will. And if he does, then I'll keep singing tomorrow and the day after that and every day for the rest of my life because he kept his promises. And now, so will I.
I sit beside your bed each night. No words, no signs, just fading light. But I still sing like you're awake, like this silence might someday break. If you still hear me, hold on tight through the shadows, through the night. I'm still yours, I never left. Love's not gone, it just took rest. So if you're somewhere deep inside, please come back, I'm by your side. Our son walked across that stage alone, but I saved you a front row throne. I sang when storms took out the light. I held your hand through every fight. If you still hear me, hold on tight through the shadows, through the night. I'm still yours, I never left. Love's not gone, it just took rest. So if you're somewhere deep inside, please come back, I'm by your side. Maybe your world is quiet and far, but I'll keep singing you still here?